So the ratings for AH's Dateline Set Down, they have crashed and burned with some of the lowest ratings that the show has seen since last year. I mean, we are talking about some really bad numbers here. I mean, to really give you a perspective on this, we are talking about numbers that tied with reruns of other shows. That's right. You have AH out here. This is an exclusive interview. She gets tied with reruns from other stuff. Why? Because nobody wanted to hear her. The media, they kept saying she needed a redemption arc. But yeah, the public, they don't agree with this. Not at all. Now, the hilarious thing is that JD's team, they put this show on blast too. They were telling you, people, they don't need this at all. I mean, it's unfortunate. She's trying to go out. She's trying to relitigate this, pretending that the people don't know. Well, the people do know. And everything that she tried to say, everything she tried to pass off is real. Yeah, that stuff, it just crashed and burned. You and I, we're going to talk about this today too. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And talk about failing, and failing spectacularly. I mean, to put these numbers we're going to look at into perspective, wrestling, Friday Night SmackDown, they end up drawing bigger numbers as far as crowds are concerned. They eke out a few better numbers, but more importantly, the demo rating, that's where you get your advertiser numbers. They get 3 times the demo rating that Dateline does with an exclusive from AH. Now, people, they do want to watch this stuff, mind you. They do want to sit down as part of JD's victory lap, and they do want to make fun of this stuff, but they don't want to sit down with mainstream media. They don't want this to be part of a redemption arc. They know exactly what they're trying to do, and this, it crashes and burns and fails utterly. I mean, listen to these numbers here. In the latest TV ratings, Dateline NBC Set Down with AH on Friday night, it drew, now you got to remember, this is Friday night, so we were talking about prime time real estate, prime time numbers here. It draws a measly 2.3 million total viewers. Again, remember, this is prime time. We are talking about mainstream media going out and doing something. And again, with their advertising demo, they draw a 0.2 demo rating. Now, to put those numbers into perspective from what the show typically does, that's down 18% on the beginning and 50% week to week. So your week to week marks, people are so irritated by this. They don't want to hear that you have a drop off from last week of 50 freaking percent. How much money, how much hype did they throw at that? We have no telling, but we know who they put out there. And this marks the news magazine's second smallest audience since November and a season low in the demo. So when you're talking about shows, this show, it failed utterly to pull in money because of AH. And more importantly, when other shows look at this and they try to gauge whether or not she's actually going to sell. That's the key here. They don't really care about her redemption. They care about whether or not she's actually going to sell advertisement slots. They're going to see this and they're going to say, oh man, I mean, this was the first. So the rest of them, they're going to figure they're going to do worse than this. And this, it is already bottomed out. I mean, to put into perspective, this is the perspective at the bottom here. Over on Fox, Friday Night SmackDown, you can see their numbers. They pull a 2.3 million, but their 2.3 million is actually slightly higher than the numbers that we see for NBC Set Down with AH, but even more. Again, 0.6. They pull down a 0.6 compared to a 0.2, featuring embattled, benched CEO Vince McMahon's surged to its best numbers in a minute. So they actually end up with the best numbers there. And again, this is a show that's been beleaguered. It's had so many different problems. But again, when it's fighting with I mean, it absolutely dominates the night. Again, advertisement demo. If you're talking about places wanting to give their money, they're not going to give their money to her. And even more importantly, when places like Warner Brothers see this, they understand advertisers are not going to want to put anything with that, meaning that they don't think that she can sell products if she can't sell advertisement spots right after the biggest case in the century. What good is she going to do when it comes to Aquaman? You know that they're watching this stuff too. You know that they're taking notes, and you know that they are horrified by what they're seeing here. So that, at leading out of a Soul of a Nation Juneteenth special, that's 2 million, and you notice this right here, 0.2. So you had the same demo rating with this, even though it has only 2 million viewers. So it has less viewers, but still pulls the same demo. ABC's 2020 rerun delivered the night's largest audience. So again, you have reruns that are doing better than That, I think, is absolutely hilarious. Again, who would ever want to work with her? Who would ever want to put this together? That redemption arc they keep talking about, poof, it just sizzled out and it's gone. Now, what's absolutely hilarious, like I was saying before, is that JD's spokespeople called this thing out, and you had AH's folks, they tried to answer, trying to talk smack like this thing, it was going to be some kind of rating extravaganza. JD's spokesperson said, quote, "It's unfortunate that the defendant and her team are back to repeating and reimagining and relitigating matters that have already been decided by the court." And she tried, this is before all of that rating failure, said, well, if JD and his team, they have a problem with this, well, we recommend that JD himself sit down with Samantha Guthrie for an hour and answer all of her questions. Now, why would JD want to sit down for this, by the way? I mean, he could score better ratings from this, from going on Instagram. He could go on TikTok or YouTube. He could put on his own show, and he could pull better numbers than we're seeing right there. But more importantly, he doesn't need to be in the hot seat. He's not the one that needs the redemption arc. She's the one that needed it. She was the one imagining that this mainstream vehicle, it was going to lead her back to success. Like I said, she was sitting around, she was talking smack, thinking that this was going to be her way forward. And you know what she found out? And she found out really quickly that it's not going to work out at all. Like I said, other places, they're going to look at this. They're going to think, well, if an exclusive doesn't work out, why would we want to pick this up? Why would we want to race primetime real estate? Why would we want to give her money? So essentially, what we just saw there is we saw an hour of laugh track that a lot of people, they profited off of. They laughed at, myself included. I laughed at it. We had fun with it. She got nothing from it. Failed and utterly. Oh, yeah, you got to love it. Yet another failure. Bravo, AH. Bravo indeed.